Welcome to The Magic of Coffee with Alex and Jordan. We are a podcast about all things nerd culture. This week, we are talking about the Ahsoka series and what it means for Star Wars in the future. Let's get into it.
What's up, dude?
What up?
You know, big chillin'. Storms a brewing, so I'm honestly super excited because that means I'm climbing this weekend.
Means I'm sleeping like a baby.
Hell yeah, dude! I'll be in there in a minute. How you been? What you been up to? What you doing?
Fine, great, awesome. I just ate a protein bar.
Hell yeah! I should probably get a protein bar.
Well, I don't have anything made anymore, so the last little money I have for payday is going to. I don't know if I'm going to Kroger and make something or just go grab something to eat. I haven't quite decided.
I know we're on the podcast, but like I can make us dinner, bro.
What?
I can make us dinner. We're roommates.
We're
By the way, podcast listeners, we're roommates. And I can't kiss my boy on the forehead and make him dinner. This is fucking double standard shit. Is pissing me off. Well, we're demonetized.
I mean, yeah, we can make some dinner. I might go grab some stuff then. We'll figure out dinner. But yeah, gotta be real. Yeah. So
all right, we're recording. The episode started. Hey, do you want to have dinner?
You want to make dinner later? Yeah, dude.
What?
That sounds so good.
Dude, so let me tell you about something. Like, you already know about this, but I want to bring it up again because it's so funny. So my TV, right? I've had this TV for a while, and I've moved, like 3 times with this TV. And so I lost the remote, right? But I never had Chromecast. I just had it just connected to my computer, and I was kind of tired of that. So we got the Chromecast, and then the fluctuation in volume just annoyed me, so I never used it, right? Or I just had to full blast it, and I was just tired of it. So when we moved, I was like, okay, I'm going to do extensive research. There's no way to, like, in order for this to work, because it has one button, you have to connect it to the internet, and then there's an app that you can connect it to, but I can't connect it to the internet. So just research, and then someone on a Reddit post was like, "You just plug a keyboard in," and I was like, "What?" And so now I can't really show you, but I have my keyboard here, and then there's a keyboard right here, and this keyboard is literally, I have 3 keyboards right now. One is gaming, another one's typing, because I usually have this super crooked, because it's just easier for me, and then this one is just to control my fucking TV. It's so good.
Amazing. Just get a wireless keyboard so you can do it in bed.
Oh, yeah, I could get I'll just get like a Logitech or something. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was actually really funny. Like when we were moving, you and Kaya were just like knocking out, getting everything ready. And then it was like today, before we started recording the podcast, that I was like, oh, I should like finish getting my room together. And it's still not done. This weekend, hopefully I'll have most of it done. There's going to be probably posters along this wall right here, and then the bathroom will go up. And then that Marvel thing I have, I might put it like above the bed right there, or above the, I can't bend my finger that way, but the closet. Right
there. Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, the only thing I have left to set up really is... damn it, there's a mosquito in here. Is I'm gonna move the camera over here so you can see. So it's gonna look different. The next episode, yeah.
Yeah, I might move I don't know. We're still figuring it out, but yeah.
No, new place, new me. You know who this?
Yeah.
But why are we here, Jordan?
Talk about Ahsoka.
Oh yeah.
The absolute. So I'm gonna say it's a banger. I loved it all.
I concur. I loved it.
the general consensus on the internet. So before we get into that, I intentionally stayed away from internet reviews and like what people were thinking about it because I wanted to form my own opinion of the series as a whole before I dove into that to see what people's issues were.
Sure.
The internet consensus is that they fucking hated it.
Really?
Yeah, as people are really tired of the volume, which is the big LED wall that they have built, which they started using for the Mandalorian. But people don't like it, and I think people are really spoiled on Andor because all of Andor was shot on location, so they didn't use the volume at all. They built the sets or shot, in places real world. But I don't like outside of like literally a couple moments, like it was fine. Like, and I think
Yeah.
the volume works a lot better than like green screen or episode 3 was shot on a lot of blue screen, which I'm not sure what the difference is, but like,
Yeah, I mean, like, wouldn't the LED thing, wouldn't that open up a lot of like opportunities to do certain things rather than trying to go on site because they're not on Earth,
yeah, and
So like eventually you run out of places and eventually you're just like, oh, we're in Coruscant. That's the Bronx.
and there's
That's
like
Manhattan, bro.
weird like people were like Ahsoka's too stoic. She's not enough like her like herself in Clone Wars and Rebels. Like she went through a lot of shit. Like
Yeah, I mean she's older now,
Yeah, I think the casting's perfect. I think the casting for pretty much everybody was perfect except for Hera. But like Hera didn't really have a role in the show. She was just kind of there to be like, oh hey, look, there's Hera. Like,
Hey, Harold.
yeah. I thought Ezra's casting was fine. I thought Thrawn's casting was great. Ahsoka was, as always, this is her first series, but she first appeared in The Mandalorian and then the Book of Boba Fett. I think she was in.
She was in the Book of Boba?
No. It just in season 2 of The Mandalorian. Sorry, because they arrest Morgan Elsbeth. She talks to Luke. Manda leaves Grogu with Luke, and then gets it back.
Yeah.
That's in Book of Boba Fett is when he gets it back. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of the fights I really enjoyed. It's just overall, I really liked it. The last episode. We got to talk about it. I mean, Hayden Christensen's part was incredible. We got hyped. I remember I was with my partner. We were watching it, and I was trying to stay stoic because she's super. Like, I'm a really big fan of Star Wars, but she is a very big fan of Star Wars. So I was trying to stay stoic. But what I wanted to do was like, as soon as he popped up, and then like, when like when it was like he was walking towards Ahsoka, and then it was Anakin, Darth Vader. I was like low key kind of scared.
Yeah, I know.
It was insane. That was such a good episode.
Yes, I think what is that, episode 5? I think so. The best one out of the series. Not even from like a nostalgia point, but even from a storytelling point, because it's Anakin telling her, "Be a Jedi, be yourself." Like stop hiding behind. The fear of turning into me. Stop hiding behind, your regrets in the past and the Clone Wars. Be yourself, be a Jedi. And you do see her open up a lot post that. But yeah, Hayden's he just stepped right back into it. He's just swinging that lightsaber. Like,
dude, what's really cool is, I don't know if this is on purpose. I mean, there's like behind the scenes stuff of him like working with Dave Filoni and stuff like that. But I don't know what the internet calls it because I haven't really looked into it, but you and I have this saying that Darth Vader, his strikes, they're called the Vader sledgehammer strikes, because he's just like, and like Anakin does it, or he's done it a little bit in like Revenge of the Sith, and then obviously he did it like when he was fighting Obi-Wan a lot, but like he was doing it a lot in that episode, and I was like, and it was cool because you could see like stylistically when Anakin was fighting and then when Vader was fighting. It was like really cool. Like that whole scene was incredible.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that, because there was a lot of theories like it potentially might not be Anakin.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that it was actually Anakin.
Yeah, it's also super interesting going back to that because, so, spoilers, season finale of Ahsoka, obviously. But, so the owl shows up at the end, and then you're not super familiar with Rebels, but in the world between worlds, the owl shows up to Ahsoka at the end of Rebels when Ezra pulls her out of the timeline. And so everybody, and Dave Filoni likes to circle back on things, right? If he's telling a story, if there's characters introduced, you will more than most likely see them again later on.
Yeah.
With the Night Sisters, with popped up in Ahsoka, the son and the daughter. Well, the daughter showed up, and then we can get into the son, that stuff with Balin. Yeah, but it's so interesting because so everybody was just like, oh yeah, this, like, it may not be Anakin, it may be the son, because like the Anakin we see may not be like Anakin, it may be the son portraying Anakin. But it did end up being him, and it was super cool. And seeing Clone Wars era Anakin,
Oh yeah.
Hayden Christensen stepping into those costumes, and those outfits were super cool. And something like I always was like, oh, that would be cool to see, but never and thought that would happen. And seeing that was just, ugh.
That was very good. Yeah. Him at the it was very like warm feeling to also at the end of the series, or end of the season rather, when he's just like watching, when he's looking at Ahsoka. I was like, all right, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The last episode was insane. I was like, ended on a cliffhanger. Like I get it,
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed about, but I'm disappointed that it ended on that big of a cliffhanger. But overall, the episode was insane. They crammed a bunch of stuff in a way that's like, it didn't feel rushed, which is nice, but they still got a lot of information out. So it was nice. So, we got fucking The Walking Dead stormtroopers.
Oh my gosh, the night troopers.
The most terrifying thing on the planet. And there's 1,000 of them somewhere.
Yeah, I know. That's truly terrifying. I remember because we were theorizing, like watching the series week to week of like, what are they? Are they just like full of like Night Sister green gas or whatever? Are they like zombies? Are they just normal people? Like, what are they? Because I like the aesthetic of the Night Troopers, and I like the aesthetic of the gold being laced in a lot of the Thrawn stuff throughout the series. The Star Destroyer, the troopers themselves, and so getting confirmation in this last episode that they're just full blown zombies is terrifying.
Yeah, and then they like the hallway scenes where they're just breaking through. It's so good. And then the two stormtroopers, or I don't even know what they were, the guards. Whenever they broke the helmet, and then he was just like, I was like, all right, settle down.
Yeah, no, super like, oh my gosh, I want to see them expanded on in whatever capacity going forward. I would love to see more Night Troopers in Star Wars because those are terrifying. The Night Mothers coming back is super cool because Dathomir and the Night Sisters could be a thing again, especially because they kind of killed them all in Clone Wars.
There's like, who said it? Was it you? We were talking about there could be potential like Maul.
Yeah,
Darth
a
Maul
lot of
back.
people think Darth Maul, even on like Reddit posts and things that I've seen this morning scattered throughout, like a lot of people think Darth Maul's coming back, which would be cool. I mean, it's like, I think his story's wrapped up pretty well with Rebels and then his weird appearance in Solo, but his appearance in Solo is before he shows up in Rebels, because that's like Maul fights Obi-Wan and then like A New Hope happens. Like, it's very, that timeline suit, like that is the end of Maul is on Tatooine, because that's supposed to be like butting up right before A New Hope pops off, in theory. Because yeah, that's like 1 or 2 before the Battle of Yavin. Because that's how the Star Wars timeline works. Is BBY or ABY before and after the Battle of Yavin. But yeah,
Yeah.
Ahsoka's super good. The series as a whole, it is. Balin is interesting in his arc and his like way. He wants to destroy the Force, is what you've come to find out.
Yeah.
And that planet not only being the home of the origin of the Night Sisters, the Dathomir people, whatever their name is, but also is home to the 3 original Force beings. They have a name. I don't remember it, but the father, son, and the daughter. And that Balin is attempting, my theory, to find the son, to kill the father, so there's no more balance, and that the dark side takes over. So the cycle ends because he has a big monologue in episode 6, maybe I think it's 7, about breaking the cycle. That it's
Yeah.
the Jedi and the Sith are always struggling to be on top. There's just a vicious cycle, and he wants to end it. And I'm assuming it's either killing both of them. He just wants to kill the beings that could dictate the Force and the balance of it, and just get rid of the Force altogether. But I don't think you can do that, or just
Hmm.
having one side take over completely, which would be by killing the father, which is like super heavy lore stuff for like Star Wars.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
a
I'm,
base level TV show Star Wars. That's like pretty heavy lore stuff.
yeah, I'm super down. I love it. I love it. I don't really have any theories right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I have some, but they're just like small little snippets of what I think could happen, but they're not enough for it to be like, oh, maybe, so
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see like what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so Ezra's back in the original galaxy. Um, Sabine and, oh, you look like a light bulb. Sabine and Ahsoka are stuck in the other worlds. We have the original Force family or whatever. It's just so interesting. We got fucking crab turtle people.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was super happy with it.
Sorry, I'm looking something up right now.
No, you're good. And then the combat was really cool. Like you got to see Ezra with a lightsaber. They brought up canon, which is cool. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I really want to see
Yeah.
what Balin's doing.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know when we will. So, because the next couple shows coming out in this Filoni era of Star Wars is Skeleton Crew,
Hmm.
which follows 4 kids who get lost in a galaxy far from home. It's a coming of age story, and Jude Law is an untitled Force user. So this could take place in the galaxy that Ahsoka got stuck in, which is super interesting. So that could be how potentially Ahsoka gets home, is through with the Skeleton Crew. The Acolyte
Hmm.
takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace, so it's the first High Republic era show.
That's going to be interesting.
Tales of the Jedi Season 2, which all of that is canon and all that's super good. And then Mando Season 4, which is going to more than most likely lead directly into the movie, Dave Filoni movie, which is coming out in late 2025, I think. So,
Yeah, a little bit of time.
Christ. Sorry. But yeah, no, I think we're in a good spot with Star Wars at the moment. I think Ahsoka is what we needed to get that momentum rolling again.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Book of Boba kind of stagnated a lot.
Yeah.
I did not like that show.
Book of Boba and Mando season 3 was the weakest of of Mandalorian seasons. It definitely was the
Yeah.
weakest. They padded it out a lot to get that story wrapped around it as a whole. Like I didn't hate it. Like a lot of people hate the Jack Black episode, but I liked it. So
I
but
didn't mind it.
it's padding. Like it was it's literally there just to fill an episode, to get them 8 episodes or whatever it was to finish that story out.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the owl.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool little like.
Oh,
Oh.
that's the owl is really funny because we were talking about it a little bit last night after we finished watching it. But so the owl shows up in Rebels, but
Mhm.
also they put the owl on the Ahsoka skin in Fortnite, which is like, why did you do that? That's a little weird.
How do you know that?
So it's just funny because it's like, there's something you're not telling us, and it's again Disney. There's like layers of regulation and things that go into Disney approving their licensing being used in other media. We had to deal with that a lot working at Alamo and the pint glasses that we sold.
Mm.
There's a rigorous like Disney kicks back a lot of stuff a lot of the times. And so they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out. That's why like the Captain Marvel one was so bad.
Oh yeah.
Because they kept kicking back apparently all the different versions of it. But yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I really like Ezra in this. To be honest, this is me nitpicking. It's like kind of a double-edged sword. I'm kind of glad that he's not doing this, but I really wish he would just like, Shaolin monk airbender style, just like punching people with the force. That'd be so sick. Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up, dude, the illest part of that episode of him like fighting, like the first fight when they were like running before Ahsoka got there, when he fucking like deflects the lightsaber and it was just like, I was like, yo, that was so sick.
No, it's pretty cool, and they definitely like use the Force a little bit more. I don't want to use the word liberally, but they're pushing into video game territory with some stuff. Like at the last episode when they were jumping,
Mm-hmm.
because typically in most like live action media, they don't use the Force as strongly. I guess they're not typically that strong, and they were granted they helped each other, but they were just like Star Destroyer. I was like, oh, all right. Ezra stopping the lightsaber. Usually don't see that unless it's like almost in a video game. So it's cool
I
to
wouldn't
see them
mind.
expanding that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them using Force a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, there's so many Jedi that are like, they kind of shit with the lightsaber, but they're so good with the Force, and you don't really see that,
No.
or
No,
you've never really seen that in a live action format.
Yeah. A lot of that's also just due to they don't have the time or money to do that, right? Because that's expensive.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, I really like the show, despite some people's opinions on the internet. I'm excited to see more Star Wars stuff. Bad Batch is getting a 3rd season, which I haven't fallen in love with that yet, but I'll probably give it another try.
I was chatting with someone, another super big Star Wars fan of a friend of mine. He thinks it's going to be the last season of Bad Batch. Is that confirmed? Do you know?
I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's said on that article I looked at.
He thinks that what's her bucket's going to die.
Omega.
Yeah, and it's going to be the end of the series of Bad Batch.
I would like them to show back up because Bad Batch is kind of a spin-off on the Republic Commandos almost.
Yeah.
Republic Commandos is what, like that idea of the Republic Commandos is where the Bad Batch just came from. So I liked that idea. I just don't think season 1, it's in a weird spot because, it's telling the story immediately after the fall of the Republic. And so you get to see that at least from a clone trooper's perspective. But because we don't have a lot of information of the Empire taking over and how bad it was, because
how it actually happened.
Yeah, Obi-Wan was chilling on Tatooine, and everybody else is kind of dead. So
yeah, There's a. Oh, I don't want to get into this. Uh, we're veering off into not Ahsoka because I almost brought up some other shit. I'm like, wait. We gotta reel it back in. But yeah, I think it's good. I like where they're going with Thrawn and the Night Sisters, and so there's like an army of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thrawn, they did a really good job making him like super, like he's like the ultimate chess player of
Mm.
war kind of thing. I really enjoyed that. I also loved the fucking uh the ring that the Star Destroyer
Mm-hmm.
just clips into. And it's just like pretty sure they got that from the Jedi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like Thrawn's little monologue at the end there too of to Ahsoka and just being like, "Oh, I knew your master, and I knew what he became," uh, alluding to Darth Vader, and he called
Yeah.
her a Ronin, which is super interesting. Your partner brought that up
Yeah.
last night too, of just like it's an interesting verbiage there because Jedi are heavily based off of samurai, and no one's ever been the word Ronin's never really been used before, especially in Star Wars. So
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
really interesting, cool verbiage there. But that's Thrawn. That's just he is one step ahead always.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's so good. The dialogue, his dialogue is so good. I was like questioning, I was like, is this gonna be good? Like, is this actor gonna actually do well? And I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, heard that. He did. He's doing phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would really like another season of Ahsoka.
I would too. I don't. Again, I have no idea where they're going with this because again, Ahsoka and Sabine are stuck on that planet with Shin. Balin's there just hanging out. So I'm interested. Like, are they gonna wait for the movie to expand on that, or is Ahsoka just gonna like pop back up? Kind of like Thor did for the Avengers. Not
Yeah.
not really explained how he got there, but he's just there now. I don't know. I trust Dave Filoni. He has not disappointed me yet. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm super stoked for what they're gonna start doing. They're also like bringing some legend stuff in, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Um, I said it last night when we watched it, but it's gonna be what they're gonna keep bringing stuff in, and then we're gonna actually have an official road
Mm-hmm.
instead of all of these random stories that throughout the years. So we're just gonna actually have a paved like timeline and actual canon versus like hoping that this is or like before when Disney was like nothing else is canon, and then Dave
Yep.
Filoni was like, well, this is canon.
Yeah.
So this is also canon,
He's
so
yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool that he's taking the things that worked in Legends and were really that made Legends so cool and bringing them back into the new Disney canon and seeing them in live action is really cool. Thrawn, perfect example of that. Um, Aboleth is an interesting character in canon that a lot of people wanted to see. She's technically the mother of the Force beings that turns evil, pretty much. So it'd be interesting to see if we go that route. I don't think we are. And there's a lot of like the unexplored regions. I think that would be super cool to delve into. And again, it looks like High Republic era stuff. That's not Ahsoka, but Star Wars is in a good spot. I'm happy with where Star Wars is.
Is Abeloth even alive? I thought she died.
Technically, in canon, she is. Well, she's not canonized at this point, but the mother's not a character in canon at the moment, or Abeloth isn't. So
I mean, yeah, if it's she's technically not canon, but
yeah,
apparently,
Luke kills her at some point
yeah,
in Legends. And it's also super interesting to see them expanding legend or the canon, especially in this era of Star Wars, and not really use Luke or Leia or Han, out of like respect, I guess, for the original actors because they're so old.
They still bring up their
One of
name,
them.
like well, yeah. They brought up Leia.
Yeah, Leia gets brought up in Ahsoka.
That I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Like they're
I thought that was really
around,
cool.
and it's cool. I would like to hear General Solo, or even during like when the big fight happens in the Filoni movie, seeing the Millennium Falcon there. Just to, they're around. Seeing Luke's X-wing pop up, even potentially of like Poe Dameron. Seeing his entry and start into Star Wars, but that's getting into sequels and not a
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I also need to rewatch the sequels because I hate them.
Yeah,
I don't like them.
I don't like that. So,
But
yeah.
but yeah, wrapping up. I was great. I loved it. It was such an awesome experience. I'm really happy with how Ahsoka came out. I'm probably going to rewatch it. Well, actually, speaking of Ahsoka, because of Ahsoka, I'm watching Rebels because I think I've like watched a bunch of episodes of Rebels, but not the full thing. And so I'm starting to get into that because there's stuff about Ahsoka that obviously comes from Rebels, and I really liked Ahsoka, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to watch Rebels then.
Yeah, I think Dave Filoni did a really good job of using both Clone Wars and Rebels with this show and calling back to those events, even though they were like 20 years ago or whatever in the timeline. But I think he did a really good job with the fan service, with just kind of everything with this show. If you haven't watched it and you got this far in the podcast, go watch it. Sorry for the spoilers.
I'm not that sorry.
Everybody knows about the Anakin stuff. If you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't watched it, you know about the Anakin stuff. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. You cannot hide that.
No. Some of the other stuff, like the son and the father statues being there at the end, isn't really out right now. But yeah.
Oh, it'll get there. It'll get there. Oh, yeah.
I'm interested to see the fan theories and where we go, because we got a couple years before the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how Dave expands on it, and if we get any hints or rumors from him.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm super. Yeah, such a good series. So good. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Got anything else to add?
I think that's it. 5 out
Cool,
of 5.
man.
10 out of 10. We'll watch again.
Oh yeah, especially the last episode. I might watch it again, probably today, maybe if I have time. It's just so good, and I love because you and I. That's benefit of being roommates is especially with Ahsoka. Because I told my partner this last night. We were like, okay, you can go to bed if you want, but this is where Jordan and I spend an hour and a half deconstructing the entire episode, and we've done that almost every single Ahsoka episode. And that's what we did. We just talked about it.
Yeah, we tried to sit down and watch the first 2 episodes back to back when they came out, because they both did. And then we just spent the first episode pausing every 5 minutes just to be like,
dude, it took us, I promise, it took us about 2 hours. And then we didn't finish the other one because we started getting drunk.
Yeah.
Because we're just waiting. We're like, as soon as Hayden shows up, I'm doing shots.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Star Wars good, is when you have to pause it because you're like, hold on. What?
What's happening?
Huh? So.
Oh, yeah.
But, well, thanks for watching and listening. If you aren't following us on social media, our Instagram is The Magic of Coffee. If you're listening to us, hit up our YouTube page, youtube.com/magiccoffee. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you are listening as well, just share it. Let your friends know we exist so we get more listens and maybe make money on this one day.
It's behind the scenes stuff. You can't talk about that.
Well, anywho, yeah. Thanks for listening and enjoy your mornings.